see it?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I made a short summary here so you know where we are at. Okay,
Okay.
so first of all, I have a 4-step funnel. Okay, so the first step, I have the pixel installed as a page view. Second step, lead. Third step, add to cart, and fourth step, purchase. And they are actually phone leads. Okay, so my KPIs are like cost per lead. One, like you can call it, I'm from Bolivia, so you can call it Bolivian dollars if you want. So between $0 to $1, or my cost per add to cart, my KPI is between 5 to 10, and my cost per purchase, this is what I want, is between 15 to 30, ideally is 20. Okay.
Okay.
So audience size, I am constrained by geographical limit because it's a physical service and product that I offer. So it's 4 miles, the geographical limit, and inside we have 1.4 million people. Okay. So what I did in the first stage, in stage 1, I used to run ads to lookalike audiences, from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, to prevent overlap, etc. And from different custom audiences like add to cart, website visitors, etc., etc. So after collecting data in hundreds of these audiences, I ended up with the best 27 lookalikes that had the fewer overlap among them. So each lookalike had between like 20K to 40K people size. Are we good so far?
Yes.
So the conclusions I had in this stage, I did this for several months, is that I used to hit my KPI. I used to have like 20 in the cost per purchase that are phone leads. I used to hit that, but I wasn't able to scale beyond 150 and 200 phone leads per day, and I want to scale more than that. Okay.
Okay.
So I also, a downside is that I had to spend many hours a day managing the ads because I had to launch several campaigns daily, and I did hit some the KPIs in some assets, but I was of course burning a lot of money testing a lot of assets that didn't hit KPI. So I tested, like, for instance, 150 assets per day, and at the end of the day I only had like 15 assets running, and I turned off 135 during the day, and I had to launch new for the next day. So I was in that uh, in that that what was happening. So the good ones didn't last long because they were doomed to fail, of course, due to the audience size. It wasn't scalable, right? Because it was like 20K people only. So at this point, after several months, I found around 20 winners creatives. I always, every time I launch them, they hit KPI, and they are pretty much the same, only the video changed. Okay. So what I did in the stage 2, I put together the 27 lookalikes to make one healthy audience, and all of them added up to 700K people. Okay. So then I tried to spend as much as I could with Sam Oven's rule, that is 15x cost per lead. So to avoid entropy, but I couldn't scale due to auction overlap. This was optimizing by asset budget. Okay. So even though each asset had only one ad, and each ad of the campaign was a different creative, I used to get between 20 to 45% auction overlap. So I wasn't going anywhere. So what I did is I launched 2 CBOs in the stage 3. I launched 2 CBOs campaigns, each one of 700K people. One of them is the 27 lookalike audience, and the other one is the million people excluding this. You get me? So I got
Yes.
another 700K people. So I launched each CBO with one ad set, and each ad set with 6 ads. I out of these 20 creatives, I took 6 of them and put it in one of those CBOs, and another six of them and put in another CBO, and I have around 8 that I'm not using yet. And each CBO I placed it with 75 cost per lead. Okay, so I launched this in, I think, September 11th, I think. Yes, September 11th, this one, and this one, and the other one, this one. And I have a retargeting audience with 2 ad sets that I don't touch. This is doing okay. So what I've noticed is that, like, let's see, from here to here, as you can see, cost per purchase average in all of that time is like 75, and here 100, 111. And what I would like to hit is, like I told you, between 15 to 30. So I don't know
Oh,
if
okay.
that's doable.
What do you mind? What is the currency value here, or the currency type?
Yes, I use Bolivian. Here we use Bolivian. You can call it Bolivian dollars, or like, but $1, $1 American is 7 Bolivians.
Okay, gotcha.
That's right. So I would like my ideal is to get a phone lead here in Bolivia for $3, for $3 American. And as you can see here, in average, I'm getting them for almost 10.
Yes, that's right.
So
And then on the
uh,
retargeting, you're getting them
for about 5, I think for about 5.
Yep, 5. That's right. Okay.
Yes, and even like with this number, I make money. I'm profitable, like with 5. But my ideal target is like 3, because
No,
I use
3
$3,
US.
3 US. Yes, that's right, 3 US. That's right. And like I told you in the first stage, I used to launch ad sets like for
Okay.
20K or 40K people, and I used to get like $3 phone leads consistently for some days.
Perfect. Awesome. It looks like I have access now. So let's just check it out. So that's retargeting. Let's start with this one that's at 111. So this is the one with all those audiences, correct?
That's right.
This is the consolidated one.
That's a consolidated one, but I took the whole audience is 1.4 million people, and in this campaign that you are watching currently, I excluded those 27 lookalikes. So this is like less quality campaign.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of stacked lookalikes. Okay, let's see here. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I was expecting to gather some data so I can call you, and as you can see, each campaign like spend like $3,000. So
Yeah, you're not getting anything under 70 right now on those 2 audiences. So let's see here. Where were these down here? Were these the ones that you were testing?
yes, I tested some before in that CBO, some things, but I was testing like each campaign, each CBO with like 6 ad sets and stuff like that. But then I picked the best one and transfer all the budget to that to the best one, and stick with only one ad set.
Okay. This one down here was doing 24. Oh, that's for add to carts. Okay. Let's see.
So I don't know how to scale.
Right. So let's see what your cost per purchase is here. Yeah, you
I,
did spend a lot on testing before you got a lot of purchases.
yes. And
Okay.
you can see all the data here because I always got the message that I had the limit of assets in my account. So I had to delete.
Yeah, you have
Yes.
292 campaigns. I can only imagine how many ad sets.
Yes, because like I told you, I used to test it. I used to test like 200 or 400 assets daily
Yeah,
because
that's a good
yes,
amount.
yes. And a bunch of them did hit $3 or less for cost per purchase. A lot of them. But of course, like I told you, due to the size of the audience, they were doomed since the beginning, like 2 days, 3 days, and then they stop performing.
Right. Yeah, this one has 62 in this one campaign alone. So that's at 25. With that one ad, okay.
Yes. Below 30, I'm happy. 20, it's optimal. But like 25, 30, etc., I'm okay.
Right. This one's at 18. Okay. When was this one ran? Not this month. Oh, a couple months ago. What was wrong with this one? Nothing? Or you were just stacking it,
Uh,
consolidating?
this
So
one,
if you were getting like an 18 cost per purchase, that's well under your
yes,
goal.
that's right. Uh, what campaign was that?
This is an audience. So this one is we have quite a few in here, so we have to go back to it real quick.
Yes, the thing is, like I told you, they used to get like, because they are small, they used to get like 15, 18, 18, 15, but like from one day to the next one, they wouldn't get any purchases.
So like right here, it was 0. You'd pay a lot, and then it started to dive back down because your auction competition exploded during this time.
Yes.
It just went way up.
And
See that?
yes, that's right. And I was competing a lot with myself, like auction overlap, because they had a lot of overlap.
These don't seem to have overlap here. These are just really a lot of auction competition.
Hmm. So I don't know if I should keep going like with the small audiences and launch a lot of assets every single day.
No, I don't think I think you need to find a balance between. So like not going, you're either going too hard right, which is like launching as many audiences as possible, or you're going too hard left, which is like consolidating to like the maximum, which is like adding 100 audiences under one single ad set, which is not gonna, both of those methods going either way too far uh,
Okay.
is not good. So we got to find an in-between spot, like a balance point where we meet in the middle. So that way we can actually have something that's, works seamlessly between both of these methods. So we just got to find the middle ground here. And I
Perfect.
think what that is going to be is we need to, you have a lot of data, more than I actually anticipated. So with that being said, we need to sift through these audiences, and I imagine there's got to be quite a few, maybe 1,000 or more. And we need to choose all the ones that were under 30, and then all the ones that had a certain number of purchases above a specific amount, and then analyze those, and then decide on whether or not we want to bring those back as how they were, and cut those big campaigns and let those run at, you know, smaller budgets across those audiences. But we would only do that if we find enough that it would make sense to do it in that case without having a lot of auction overlap. So that way we get only the best out of all the ones. We're essentially picking all those ones and just being very particular about what we want to use. So in this case, what we could do is we could organize a filter,
Okay.
and say our campaign metric. And in this case, are you optimizing for purchases? Or,
Yes. Everything. I always optimize for purchases.
okay, so it should be under cost per result, right? So we'll do is less is in between, and we'll do
15 to 30 it could be.
no, yeah. So like we could do $1, but just because like we're fine with it being lower.
Yes. Okay,
and then
course.
We'll do the cost per result max 30, and we'll first do that, and then we'll also add a secondary filter, which is going to allow us to sift out essentially all the ones that have like one purchase, which isn't really like any viable information. It just means that, you know, could have been luck on that audience. And it looks like, so these cost per purchases are still holding up high above the range that we chose. So that could be, let me double check which one you're optimizing for on this campaign.
And can you use the data that I deleted? Because I don't think they are gone forever, right?
Got it. So we actually did that on the campaign level. We need to do cost per result on the ad set level. There we go. Is between $1 and 30. There we go. Now here we have an average of 23 at 98 purchases. So this is actually, now what we do is we would then filter out these ones, like these one purchases, because those are anomalies. So we go and add in oops, I need to re-add that one we just had, and then add another one, which is results. Okay, it's not going to let you do that one. So what we do in this case would just be filtering out ourselves. So now we're going to open it up so all of these ad sets populate. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I'm going to type retargeting, and then we'll do campaign name, because you have them titled retargeting, correct?
Yes.
I can't fully see that. Is that spelled correctly?
Yes.
Okay. And then we're just going to do, is it by campaign name you are naming them?
Yes, I named them by campaign.
Okay, so I'm going to exclude the retargetings by doing campaign name doesn't contain. So now we're only going to get your audiences that are between this range and also don't contain the retargeting. So that way we only get your cold.
Okay, but the thing is that some of the cold traffic, I used to call those campaigns like, they had the word retargeting in it. So you can maybe filter by LLA, like campaigns that have the name that look at LLA.
Okay. This might be taking a little bit longer just because you have so many ad sets that the ads manager is having a hard time loading it.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is lifetime. And then we'll just re-add that filter here. And we can get a little bit more specific here, which is way better. So we'll just do cost per result is between 1. Okay. And we'll do it by add set name. Give that a moment to load. I'm gonna remove the campaign here so that way we don't. So these are the main points we want to focus on.
Are you going to get the data of the things that I deleted before also?
Yes, this pulls in everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's taking a moment to load because you have such a high amount. Yeah, it's just it can't load all those for. There must be so many that it's just having a hard time loading it all. So let's we need to narrow our gap here because there's just so many.
Mm-hmm.
So we might have to do it by a shorter time range.
Yes, maybe 1 year. 1 year.
And then let me pull in.
You can do it from August 2019.
Let's see if this loads.
Because due to the pandemic, we didn't run ads like April, May. No.
Okay. All right. The other alternative is downloading this thing and just exporting that entire CSV file and then doing it in Excel, because that's the only thing that can probably power the amount of like information that needs to be loaded at one point. It can do, you know, hundreds of thousands of cells at a time. Since this is through your browser, there's probably just not enough, you know, energy for this thing to actually load this entire bucket of audiences because it's so large. So that's one thing that would need to be done. We need to sift through all of that data. Like you said, you reached out, you do have a lot of data, right? So I mean, like we just need to do some data analysis, because like a lot of companies don't have that amount of data, and thankfully you do. So you could actually, in theory, you probably have everything that is working. We just need to be able to do the data analysis and choose the audiences that make the most sense, that aren't going to have the big overlaps, and allow you to maintain consistency. And we have to sift through all of that. I mean, it could take some time, right? Unfortunately, this didn't load immediately, but we'll need to download that file and go through it. If we want to go back to the ad account, some quick follow-up action items for you would be to essentially pull that report and start organizing it by those specific results, and then find out which audiences have the overlap, which ones don't. So that way we can actually go through it all.
And with all that info, are we going to launch a CBO or ad set level, or what's best?
Yeah, so we'd have to decide depending on how many audiences we had. Like, it just depends how many audiences we've moved forward with. If it's more than like 10, then we'd probably decide on whether or not we want to split it out by multiple CBOs, or if we want to just do an ad set level. We might segment it in specific campaigns. We need to figure out the best structure to prevent the least amount of overlap and leverage your account in the best possible way. There might be audiences where like you have a 1 to 2, like a 1 to 2 and a 2 to 3. Like, we might just be able to make the audience a 1 to 4 or a 1 to 3 and altogether, and limit the number of audiences you actually have to have. And we know that that would prevent overlap. So we essentially have to do a lot of data analysis, and that does take time, which isn't a bad thing. It just means that, thankfully you do have a lot of data that we can go through.
And taking in consideration it's the audience size and that's the cost per lead, do you think I can scale to how many phone leads per day?
How much are you spending right now?
So right now, about $500, $600 per day, but I want to scale more.
Okay, so I wouldn't know a direct answer immediately on what the total scale could be, because we don't know how big the audiences are, how many of them we'll have. But I mean, based off how many campaigns you have here, 292, I never got an exact number on your ad sets, but I imagine it's be over 1,000 by far. So if that's the case, then I mean, certainly I'm sure we could scale higher than what you're at now, just because there's got to be so many opportunities there that were potentially just lost, or had a slight overlook, or just weren't digged into further enough. So yeah, there's definitely opportunity to scale.
Ad sets here. Okay, you have 9,000 ad sets. That's quite a few. So this month, these are too high. Let's go ahead and rank it by cost per purchase.
Those are the CBOs, right?
Yes, those are the CBOs.
Failed.
Export failed.
What could be the problem?
It's just having such a hard time exporting such a large file. Let's see here. Some of your data is not even loading either. Export table data. Oh, can you press that again? So it pops up. There we go. And then export as the XLS. Let's just do that one.
Okay, do I click it?
Yes. Hopefully that'll work.
Okay.
And then let's do some more filters just in case it doesn't. Oh, it looks like it's going to work. And let's do cost per result this go around. Okay, it's successfully exported, but now we need to do lifetime. So let's do that. Lifetime. And then let's go ahead and...
Or maybe can you do it like...
This year? Yeah, go ahead and select the dates that'll work best for you.
Not lifetime, because before, some years ago, let me think.
Perfect. Just choose this.
Okay. Here?
Yeah, just choose the last most relevant time frame. I mean, honestly, like this year or 90 days is actually fine. Going 90 days out.
Maybe this year, because like I told you, we didn't run
Perfect.
ads on April, May, June.
Cool. Yeah, let's do that.
So, or can we go a little bit behind August, or is too much?
You could certainly do that. If you have the data for that time frame, yes.
Here,
Yeah.
update. Okay.
And all right, so you have that time frame selected.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. It's still loading, so.
Loading. I think it went through.
Did you exported that?
No. Mm.
Okay, go ahead and do the report and then do the drop down in that same thing. Okay, so it didn't load this go around.
It doesn't load at the ad set level, right?
No. So do you mind clicking on the campaigns there?
Okay.
All right. Now, if we can select search and filter again, and then we'll just do we're going to try to narrow this down because we got to get some of this data out. Otherwise, we just won't be able to pull all the stuff that we want to look at. And then cost per result ad set we'll do is between once again, except we'll narrow it even further just because. We'll go 5.
That's lifetime, right?
Pulled up lifetime again.
Yes.
Okay, let's just do that time range you had. That was working. We're going to have to do a smaller data set for it to load, so we just need to do this year. Otherwise, we'll get stuck in this loop.
Still loading.
Well, what months did you not run ads?
April, May.
Okay. We'll just do June through September and see if we can get that to go. There we go. That looks much better. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and hit report and try to export this and see what happens.
Okay. View. And the file we already exported, is that useful for anything or?
What file? No, that file is not useful because it was only for September.
Okay.
So we'll see how long if that loads at all. These exports didn't work.
Do you think it's a internet problem or is the amount of data?
Both. I don't think it's able to process it because of the speed or the connection, and there's just a large amount of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not loading here
Nothing?
either. Nothing when we do that.
Maybe if I change to another internet.
I think it's just going to be a data issue, no matter what speed right now. We did get it by month, so we might be better off just piecing it out month by month. Let's see if we can do that.
Okay.
Let's just try June. And if we can do that, then, I mean, we only have to do 3 downloads, which won't take us long. Update. Let's see if that even works. Is there anything else you would have named your retargeting as?
My call traffic
Yeah, what would you have named that?
with that.
That's what
Or
cold traffic's under?
look,
For ad set name?
yes, lookalike in the campaign name.
Okay, what about retargeting? Or how are those titled?
Yes, only retargeting and the date. I used to launch them with retargeting and the date.
Yeah, this doesn't even say
And
you have anything as a LAA. Is it LAA or is it LLA? Are you positive?
I think like that maybe.
Okay.
Or no, I think it was LAA though.
No, that one was it. That worked. Perfect. Great. That actually worked.
Okay.
Awesome. So we actually have June here. So let's see if we can export this now. But you know, if it loaded here, then actually we don't even need to export it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
We could actually just go ahead and see. I want to push our luck here, but you know, we'll try this once, and if it doesn't work, but we'll go back. At least we know that loaded. Yeah, so it looks like it's not going to be able to do but 1 month at a time. Oh, it went through. It did go through. See, it doubled the spend. Okay. You know, honestly, we are going to be able to get all the way up to August then, and we're going to be in the green. This one probably failed over here, though.
And is that enough? June, July, August?
Yeah, we don't
you
need September because I've already
data?
seen that data. Yeah, let's just do 90 days. And besides, you stopped for that April and May, so I don't want to go I don't want to go before then in that case. I didn't realize it was like a 2-month span, so that could change things. I think 90 days, depending on how much loads here, should be a good amount. So
Okay.
rows displayed, more rows available. Okay, so we got it in here for this time frame. So what we'll do is we'll hit save because it's not saved right now. So as soon as we save it, if anything crashes or anything, at least it'll be here.
Okay.
Cool. Now, what we want to do is analyze your data, cross-analyze it to audience overlaps and auction competitions, and choose the audiences that have some purchases, more than one, and meet the criteria of being in between the cost per purchase of $1 to 30. And we want to choose enough audience sets that can scale and handle spend at a reasonable cost per purchase that you're happy with. So that way we can structure the account appropriately. And so to do that, what we'd end up doing is going through here and starting by filtering to make sure that we only have purchases above, let's see, it looks like you don't have anything below 6, so that's actually good. Okay, you have some at 5, 4, 5, 5, lots of 5s. All right, so what we'll do is we'll filter here, apply filter, and we're going to limit it to must be greater than 3. So it's going to have to be 4 purchases minimum, or actually greater than 4. So it has to be 5 purchases minimum.
Okay.
Because that at least ensures that there's some data there, right? Makes sense?
Great.
Because if it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, I mean, realistically, that could just be anomaly, early data, but at least having 5 in this case for you, maybe even like if there's enough audiences at 10 plus, we'd be better off there. I mean, the further we can push this minimum threshold and keeping our costs under the 30, we're going to be in a good position.
Great. Okay.
So these are all the ones. We've got it down to 33. I'd say that's pretty good. And now what we want to do is we want to get our average cost per purchase. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull in purchases and cost per purchase, and we're going to remove results because we want to tally up the total. Makes sense? At the bottom, it wasn't showing the total. Now we want to.
Okay.
So now we'll see the total at the bottom. And our goal is to find a number that makes sense for you. And if it's under 30, that's perfect. And if it's at 20, even better.
And from now on, like I would be advertising to only those audiences?
To start. This is just from this sector we're pulling. We're going to see how much data we can get. Okay, so we got 234 purchases in here. For whatever reason, it's not pulling your average cost per result here. Oh, okay, I see. So I see, I got you. So cost per result, okay. We need to apply the filter on this one. That's why that's pulling in. It's greater than 4. Go do that again since we just updated it. Perfect. And it looks like our action, cost per action still doesn't want to pull. Okay. But it's safe to assume that your cost is going to be above 20. Because when I'm looking at this at all 28, especially if anything that's gone above 4 purchases, obviously your cost isn't holding at under 20, right?
Yes.
So it's safe to assume that you could maintain under 30, no problem.
Okay, that would be good.
Okay.
Perfect.
Because that is doable. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what number under 30? We don't have the average here, but looking at this data, it would likely be $24 to $26.
Okay.
Because look at these numbers, even maybe lower. I mean, 23, 22 purchases, that's some volume. And if you start stacking that up, that's going to be above 50. That gets you out of learning, and that's a lot of good cases. And right here we have 25, 22, we have 27, 26, 21. I mean, these are, you take the averages of these, that puts you right around 24, 23. And
Right.
in some cases, we have 16. I mean, there might be some cases where you can maintain under 20. So no matter what, we'll get under 30. Now, this total spend, is
Yes.
this within your budget? And is that a good
Daily?
amount for you? No.
Daily?
No, right now that'd be, if that would be assuming we could spend this on a monthly basis with these audiences.
No, that could be daily.
Okay, even better.
Yes.
Yeah, so we just got to, I mean, there's plenty of audiences here to scale. And there's plenty of audience sizes. So essentially now what we need to do is, if this thing will load, we'll save this, and we can actually look at the trends of this to see what the costs are on any given basis. So what we could do is pull in this pivot table and do a trend.
Okay. Should I be worried about burning my audience, or 1.4 million is plenty in the city?
We're going to find out once we look at the audience caps. You're limited by reach, right?
Okay.
Okay, because it's so much data, it's only going to work into table format, which is all right. That's fine. Essentially, the trend would have shown us what the average was on any given daily basis, because if we were to take the average across all of those, the only thing we'd be looking for is to see if there's major spikes anywhere. And if there is, that could be a concern. If there's not, then we're good, because that means it's more consistent. So we'll just go back to the data table, since we can't pull in the trends, because it's just not going to load, because I assume it's having such a hard time doing that. So now with these audiences, we need to go ahead and start looking at them in the actual ad account, since we can't pull the trends and audience overlaps and all that right now because of the loading issue. So what we'll do is let's see which audiences it is. And it's pretty obvious. It's right away, the first thing I notice is it all has to do with video views. All of these do.
Okay.
And the good thing is a lot of them are the same audience, which is even better. You have 1 to 2, 2 to 3. That means we can get away with one audience at 1 to 10 and be really successful on cost. Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's start here. So what we're going to do is we're going to break these out by percentages, except we're going to do them by a actual higher percentage value rather than doing 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, stuff like that. We'll limit the number of audiences we have so we can exit learning and get a consistent cost. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take, we just need to filter this name real quick to make sure I can see it. And the name is going to be 10 seconds VV and link.
I think you're missing an O in seconds.
Sorry, there's a delay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Let's just see if that pulls in. Okay, you want to go ahead and type that just to make sure you pull it in? I might have missed it again somehow. It's going to be under ad set. I believe I did it by ad by accident.
Yes, it should be in ad set for sure.
Here we go. But the benefit of doing this, I mean, you can see how detailed this is getting. I mean, we're literally pulling in all these filters to get exactly what we want.
Right.
We're having all these overlays because we're breaking down the core of it. And the core is pretty obvious right now. It's these lookalikes are the ones that are doing it. And then what we'll notice is we have a 3 to 4. There's actually no 1 to 2, 2 to 3 in this case. But I'm sure those were doing quite well as also. They just had fewer purchases. So we have 9 to 10.
Okay.
That's a 1% essentially because it's just smaller audience size. These are different or identical?
Yes, they are identical, but they must have been for another campaign, another
Gotcha.
creative.
Okay. Got it. Either way, their costs are actually very similar. So, I mean, 28, 27, 28, 26. I mean, that is a really good thing to see because it means there's a lot of consistency in those numbers. They're not sporadic. You know, there's a really low one here, but I mean, that's not bad news. I'd rather be in the lower direction than higher. So we're going to take these. Let's go 3 to 10 because our 3 to 4, and then actually we have a gap between 4 to 8. So let's go 3 to 4 plus. We'll do the 8 to 10. So we're going to segment it by 8 to 10 in one audience, and the second one will be the 3 to 4. Make sense?
Okay.
And that will allow you to get a lot more purchases at a more consistent number. And you won't have to be managing a ton either because it's going to be a lot smaller. So that'll be our first step. Make sense? So we'll just go to this month.
Okay. Yes.
We're going to X that out so we can load these things faster. We're going to create that campaign. Under conversions, we'll go down, name it. And it might be easier for you to do this part because the lag is so significant on my end. So if you just want to name it, name the campaign.
Here, new, I don't know, new campaign.
Okay.
New target. You can take control of the mouse.
It's lagging, so it doesn't work as well this way. Feel free to go ahead and type the ad set name in there. It can be generic. We're going to change it.
So continue, right?
What was that question?
Do I click continue, right? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now you just need to, we need to go in there and start working with the ad set. So let's do the ad set. We need to
should I go to the, and edit this part?
Yes.
So we target My audience?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, please update it with the locations you need to go after.
Okay.
Perfect. Is that it?
I clicked 4, but it is whatever it is. It's not letting me. Hold on. I think let me change the connection
Okay.
of the internet.
No problem.
1 second. 1 second. Okay, here is the 1.4 people.
Awesome. Cool. Now, is that your entire audience size based off of the max we can reach?
Like, yes, that would be the max. This is all the people inside this radius that I can sell my services, and it's like all age and all genders.
Okay. Got it.
And I don't know if that based on always, and when I did CBO, I did 1 day click, 1 day view. I don't know what's best.
Okay. Yeah. 7 days is going to be the one we want to do, but let's go ahead and add these percentages in here that were video views. It was 10%, I believe it was.
10 second, I think.
10 second. Perfect. Can you go ahead and find that one in here for the lookalikes?
Right there.
Yep. So it was, let's just double check them. I believe it was the 9 to 10. That was one of them. And then there was a 8 to 9 in there. So select those.
Okay, here, 9 to 10, 8 to 9.
Yes.
What
And
else?
if you want to check your report on the one in the other
It
tab.
was here, 9 to 10, 8 to 9, 3 to 4.
Okay. Let's leave these two here. And we'll do the 3 to 4 in a different ad set.
Okay.
Because those percentages are pretty far off from each other. 8 to 9 and 9 to 10 are close. So that's fine.
Okay.
And if you just want to copy these, paste it at the just name it so that way you know what it is.
Like that? In here?
Yes. And you can change it from 8 to 9 to 8 to 10 in the name. You just
8 to 9, 9 to 10. Like that?
yeah, and then paste what you had in there so that way you just know which lookalike it is.
Okay, and as you can see, only 89,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So go ahead and paste that in there. Yeah, because you're working with a smaller audience size. So that's just one of those things you're having to follow. I don't believe we pasted that other piece in there. There it is. Okay. Now that that's there, we're going to hit don't show this again. We don't need that right now. And then we'll just hit, let's first double check all these other settings because I don't believe I saw those down here, how you had that set up. Let's pull this back open real quick. And if you can scroll down for me. Yeah. Okay. Keep going down. And do the show more.
Show more options.
Yep. And then change it to 7-day click. Hit edit, change 7-day, click. That'll give you more
7
data.
7 days click.
Yes. 7-day click.
What else?
You're good.
Okay.
That's it. So we'll close that out. And now what we need to do is remove the ad inside of this one. So essentially, we're just going to take this and delete it because it's not the ad that you have. Delete. And now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this link up here. Copy it. Oop. Can you select all that in there? Or better yet, we can just hit duplicate on this thing. Just duplicate right here. So we just need to pull open another tab and we need to do a quick search for that audience because I need to see what ads are in there because I don't know if you have 10 of them. I don't know if you have one. I don't know what the ad looks like. So we want to find that ad. Otherwise, it won't be the same in cost. Make sense? So we need to stretch this out. Can you pull, there we go. Just pull that bar out so we can get this name in here. Mind selecting that name and giving it a quick copy. You can just copy that name.
Okay. Okay. Where do I paste it?
And then what we're going to do is we're going to, no, not yet. We're going to do the search on the new tab. We're going to filter. And you're just going to do add set name. So paste it in there and then choose the ad set name. Nice.
Paste?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you got quite a few. Let's see what all these are. These I wasn't expecting this many ad sets. 57. That's odd. Okay. That was for the time range from June to
August.
Right. June to August. Let's update that. So this is that first one we're pulling. And it's this ad here. Does this one look familiar to you?
That's one of the winners.
Oh, okay, great. So if you just want to copy that ad, makes sense. I mean, if it's winner, makes sense that it's doing so well here, 18, which is great. It's under 20 for sure. Just copy this ad. You would do that by pressing, just press Control C.
The ID?
Control C. Control C on your computer. You just press those buttons. It's like Control.
Okay. Okay, Control C. Okay.
Oh, there it goes. Perfect. It copied. And then you're just going to paste it in this ad set here. So paste it. Okay. It's, for whatever reason, it's not copying on this end right now. Let's try this real quick. That needs to be minimized. It might not let you duplicate right now this way because
you're copying the ad in the ad set here, right?
yeah, but normally it does allow you because it's the same ad account. So the other solution is just taking the post ID. So
yes,
you just want to do the, yep, here we go. And then just do the Facebook post with comments, grab the ID. And then what we need to do is just create the ad real quick, the basic one, and drop the post ID in there. Can you go ahead and drop that ID in that ad?
continue.
Yes. Okay. Now we're just going to do use existing. Drop the ID in there.
Okay.
Yep. Submit. And that's it on that end. So now that that's ads here, we're good. So now that you have that in here, you can check the ad set. And all we're going to do now is duplicate your ad set. So duplicate this one, and it's going to remain in the same campaign. So we're going to do original, and we're going to add in that 3 to 4 that we saw with that same ad.
Okay. Mhm.
All right, so now that that's been duplicated, and we just need to change it to the 3 to 4 now. Are you able to do that?
Okay. Which one is a copy? This one.
Yes.
Mm. It's slow.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 to 4, right?
Yes. And that is 89 as well. So that's good because those audience sizes. All right. Now that that's 89, you can update that at the top. And we want both. If we're going to do CBO, it's best to have all the audience sizes the same. So that way the CBO doesn't discriminate by choosing the audience with the largest size, which is typical. But if you maintain all audience sizes, then it leaves the CBO to decide purely based off lowest cost per purchase, which is a good thing because it
Okay.
forces the algorithm to want to learn how to get lower cost per purchase.
Okay.
But if you have like an audience that's 89 and 1.4 million next to each other, then the CBO is going to be biased and choose the one that's always bigger because it's always going to believe it has a better opportunity of finding somebody out of 1 million than it does out of 89,000. So
Okay.
the other thing is,
so in this case, 61.
Okay. And the other one's 89?
Yes.
All right.
But maybe we have overlap between those, right?
No. Because it's a 3 to 4.
Really? Okay.
So no overlap. And what's going to happen now is, since this one's a 3 to 4, that one's a 8 to 9. Let's see what this other audience would be. So if we can get all the audiences to be around the pretty much like right at the 80 mark, that'd be great. If not, then we might have to switch from doing CBO to ad set level. Now,
Okay.
here's the other audiences that were in here, which is the 10 seconds, but these are not lookalikes, are they? These are retargetings.
I think so. Yes, they
Okay.
are retargeting.
Okay. So now instead of doing the 10 seconds, let's go ahead and look at that other one, which was the video view percentage, I believe it was for the other one.
50%.
Yeah. Do you want to filter by the 50% now?
Okay. Where did we have?
And while that loads, can you go to the other ad set and do a search for it as well so we can see which ad is in there?
Where?
The other tab, one more tab over. Yep. And then go find that same audience and see what ad's in there.
50%.
There's a search bar right at the top, but it's already filtered by the percentages, so that won't work. You got to close this one out here. You got to do the search here instead.
Okay.
Yeah, so do it here.
Here, 50%?
Yes, that 50% for that audience. And then go to the ad set level. There's quite a few 50%. Which one was it exactly? So we make sure we only choose the right one.
5 to 6, 3 to 4. From 1 to 2 to 5 to, well, I don't know.
So it's 1 to 8 all the way up. 2, 3, 3,
Yes.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, perfect. Where is that one exactly over here? That's fine. We can click this one because. Okay, so, all right, so that adds there. So that's one. Let's also make sure that we check these others in case they have different ones. Oh, okay, that one does have a different one. 3 to 4. Oh, is that a third different one?
Yes, because I used to test a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Got it. And 2 to 3. Okay. So in that case, these are all in the 27 range. Let's rank it by cost per result and see if there's a high volume ad at a very low cost.
Okay.
No high volume other than this one. So we could they all seem to hold around the same cost per purchase pretty much no matter what ad it is. So with that being the case, I think you're fine to go ahead and take this one as well.
Okay.
Because it has the highest volume, so at least we know that it's stable. And just go ahead and get this post ID if you can. And what you're going to do is you're going to duplicate the ad inside of this one.
Mm-hmm. Do I do it or?
It's not showing me the duplicate button. So yeah, press duplicate, add that post ID. Then you're going to make sure this ad is in all those ad sets you have. And we're going to add in that other percentage of the 1 to 9% or the 1 to 10.
Duplicate?
I mean, I think, yes, because in that case, it was working in all of them.
Okay. What is the ID? Is this one?
Yes. Grab that, paste it in that one, and yep, that's good.
Is it the, I think it's the same one, right? Right.
Oh.
Which one do we need?
Oh, are they the same ads?
I think it's this one, right? No, they're different.
Okay. You pasted already?
Yes, it's updating.
Okay, cool. Great. Awesome. Yep, that'll do it. Now, what you're going to do is copy this ad and you're going to paste it in that other audience you have.
Okay. Which one?
We got to go back to where you were. So you're going to take this ad here. It's not loading on my end. Sorry. I can't see for some reason.
Okay.
Okay. Now go to the ad set. You just need to make sure that this ad is in that other ad set.
Here. That's it. On your end?
Not really sure if it's loading. Okay, there it goes. So it was in this one that it now needs to go into. I don't know what's going on. All right. Can you go ahead and let's see if that pastes. You got to copy this ad here. So just what you'll do is just press Control C. It'll work this time. So it's Control C. Okay. And now to paste it, you go to the ad set and you just press Control V.
Okay, do I press it now? Okay, I did.
Cool, it's duplicating. Awesome. And now what we can do is double check that it worked because we need to confirm. And what we're going to do is go to your campaign and turn this off so that way it doesn't go live. Then we need to go back because otherwise it won't show us which is in which because they're in drafts. So we just need to review and publish this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it's published, we can actually confirm if they're both have both ads, if they both have the same two ads. We want these two ads because there are two that worked and we're not going to do any more than that. All the other ones seem to get the same cost anyway. So it's just better off just going with fewer ads. It won't take the algorithm as long to learn. 2 is good for this case because they're both proven. Yeah, at the highest volume. Let's double check here. All right, and it doesn't look like we pasted it into the correct one. So we're going to delete this one because it didn't work.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, just press that trash can there.
Where is it?
Right here.
Where's the trash can? Okay.
Delete ad. Then we're going to make sure it pastes in this other audience this time correctly. And then this part will be over and we can start just going after all the audiences and building that out, which will be the main portion of this that'll work. Now we can make sure it's in this one. Paste that. So Control V.
Mm-hmm. Do I press Control V?
Yes, absolutely.
Unable to paste.
Connection is making it complicated to see which one's copied. So if you just copy the one that says copy to, just copy that one, Control C, and then you go to the ad set, choose the other ad set, which is going to be the one that isn't selected. Yep, there you go. Yep, and now unselect perfect, then Control V. Awesome. Yeah, it's much faster on your end whenever you're controlling, simply because the connection doesn't have to send it all the way to me. So it's a little bit easier.
Okay.
I'll just guide you through it. Now you're just going to publish that. So you're good to go. Publish. Now that we have it set up the way we want, they're stacked social. We have the 2 audiences we want. Let's get that 3rd audience by duplicating and putting in the other percentages. Now, we're going to have to do this on the ad set level because this next audience is likely going to be pretty large in comparison to these. So duplicate this audience. And you're going to add in that percentage. And it looks like we just combed through that first hour here, I believe.
Yes, let me. Hold on.
Then we duplicate.
Duplicate. Now what do I do?
Now we'll do that percentage, the 50%. So you're just going to add in from 1 to, let me confirm. It's going to be from 1 to, and we're going to stack them all in this case because they're all the exact same audience type. So
from 1 to 8?
Yes, 1 to 8. That's right.
Okay.
Add those in.
Okay.
Yep.
50%. One to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 6. I think that's it, right? From 1 to 8.
Yep, that's correct. You did it right. Then just name it at the top and you'll be good to go on that one. And let's see what the audience size is too as well.
One to 8, like that. See, it says 370. I'm sure that, like, I mean, there's overlap between this one and this one and this one.
I'm sorry.
I think there will be overlap between the audience of the ad sets.
From the percentages of the video views.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We can see how large that overlap would be. If you exclude them, see what that does to it.
What was that?
Exclude them.
Exclude them. Okay. Exclude here. Exclude. It was 10 seconds. 3 to 4.
Yep.
And what else?
9 to 10 and 8 to 10.
9 to 10 and 8 to 9, right?
Yes, 8 to 9. That's right.
So we are excluding 10 seconds, 3 to 4, 8 to 9, and 9 to 10. Okay.
Perfect. It actually didn't move the bar by that much.
Yes. And should we exclude in the other ones, like should we exclude here this one and this one, or is not necessary?
If you do that, let's see what the audience does in size. It could be that it might make the audience way too small.
Okay, so what else do we do?
So try it. You can try it in the other one real quick, just as a draft. And then also just to confirm, are we going
Here?
for the next hour here?
Yes, we go for the next hour. I can. So you'll send me the
Yeah,
link?
same link. Same link.
Same link. Let me. Let me tell my wife that she makes it. So we keep going. One sec, please.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, my wife is going to send the payment in a bit.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So you want to try excluding those other ones?
I think it was from which one was close this, right? And go here, edit.
Yes.
And which one should I exclude?
Try excluding the other version, which would be the 50% in this case. You would just do
50%.
Yeah, I imagine this audience to get extremely small. We'll see. It might only affect it by 10,000 potentially. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So just select all those,
With
1 to 8.
all of
1 to 8.
8.
Yep.
1 to 2. 2 to 3. 3 to 4. 4 to 5. 5 to 6. 6 to 7. 7 to 8. Yeah, less than 1,000 people.
Yeah. So, okay. In that case, what we could do is we're going to have the just budgets. So that way it's not the auction overlap isn't significant because we're not bidding ourselves up. So if we keep the budgets relatively like if we keep the budget extremely low on this one and the other one's higher, then we'll be fine.
Okay, so what do I do? Close.
Yeah, X all those out. And the only other thing we're going to do is add one more audience. Because otherwise we're just going to run into the overlap. And these are the good audiences that we like, which is great. And what we're going to do is just you're going to duplicate this one more time. And what we'll do is do an open audience size that is just wide open. And if we can go ahead and, remove this. Is this a product people can buy multiple times?
Yes, it's meal plans.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Great. That is good. And next thing is, that's it. We actually just made it wide open. So all you're going to do is just name it like I believe it's just 4 mile radius is what it is.
Yes.
If you want to update that. Yep. So it'll be the full size here, 4 mile radius, or however you'd like to name it. And then what we're going to do is I want to see the difference in what happens whenever you remove these other sets. So like if we exclude that 8 to 9 for the seconds, if it adds up to be a significant volume, that's all I want to know. Which I imagine it will. It's going to take out essentially 300 something thousand, which should leave it at 1 million, right? 8 to 9 is the 10 seconds.
Yes.
And then the 3 to 4. And then once you take out your 50%, what does that put you at? That should remove the exact amount. If you want to go ahead and select all those again, just one, it goes 1 to 2, and then 2 to 3, and then up and up until you hit 8.
Okay.
2 to 3.
4.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All of those.
3, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, you're at 950. So let's leave it there. And
okay.
So essentially we have a very small audience cap. So we go all the way down to 63,000, then we go to 300,000, then we go to 950. It's essentially like expanding our size, just how you would with a lookalike, going from a 1 to 2, and then a 2 to 5, and then a 5 to 10. It makes it bigger no matter what. That's essentially the same model, except we're doing it with your limited location. And so what we'll do is we will first mimic budget on the ad set level to support the audience size. And we do that by closing this out. And I want to check what your CPMs are over here. Because if they are high, then that'll be a good indicator of what we need to spend. Or low, either way. Performance and clicks. And okay, those are not bad at all. And then it's quite a few link clicks too. Okay, where's your frequencies on this thing? They are right up here.
Yeah, right there.
Okay. Interesting, 3.96, 7.55, and that's on your actual consolidated. So retargeting, okay. All right. What we're going to do is now with this audience, we're just going to adjust the budgets based off of your CPMs and the audience size. So 140, if you're averaging a 7 CPM for every 1,000 people reached, and this is 950,000. Let me do the math real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so the max we can spend on the biggest audience is 218. So I would say 140 is actually fine. This audience here was what was this audience size?
So you're 100% sure that there's no overlap between those 4 audiences?
There's no overlap between the 4 Mile and the rest of these audiences over here. There is overlap between the small 80-something thousand audience or that 60,000 audience. There is overlap there, but that's so insignificant. If anything, we might not even need it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But we're going to go with it because we're going to adjust the budget accordingly so it doesn't impact performance and cost. 300,000 here. So we take 300,000, divide it by 1,000 because that's 1,000 people reach for every, that gets us 300. We multiply it by your average CPM of 7, gets us 2,100. We then divide that by the 30 days in the month. That gets us 70 daily max we can spend on this audience before it affects performance. And that gets you, that's max. So I'd still go lower than that. So I'd put it at 50 on this one. Mind adjusting that? Because we need to go a percentage down lower
50?
than that. Yeah. Max is 70.
Like that?
Yeah, max is 70. We'll start at 50 because we don't want to start out at the max. We need to work our way up. Just like the max on this was the 200 plus. Then this one is going to be much smaller as well.
Does that mean that will be the cap of the budget?
Yeah, those are the budget caps.
But so I can scale more.
For that spending, that's the most you can spend if you want to reach the entire, if you want to maintain a frequency of the 1, if you want to maintain a 1 frequency of only reaching new. But your frequencies are going to go up because you're in a local area. So what we got to do to combat that is we launch a retargeting and go heavy on spend there with all of your ads. Because they'll cycle out, because you're going to exhaust the audience with one set of ads and your performance will get blown out. So the retargeting is always going to be on at a high spend, pushing up your frequencies and driving a lot of the purchases. And they're not going to get exhausted because you're going to have every single ad that it's ever performed in there. So as soon as one goes bad, the algorithm switches it to the next automatically for you.
But perfect. But I will be able to spend several thousands, right, per day?
We're going to find out.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Then max you can spend here on this one's 20. So close this one and, 20. There's no sense in going any lower than that because that starts to get too small. The max you're going to be able to spend on this one is obviously going to be a little bit less, so we'll just go with the 15. So I'll show you what it's set up like this for. This is essentially to prevent your audiences from raising your own costs, right? This is essentially like preventing your results from getting all blown out in terms of cost without them attacking each other in cost, without them rising substantially fast in cost. This is the balance point that it makes the most sense. In terms of being able to keep it consistent, right? Like we could probably, scale up the spend right now and then get a bunch of purchases. But the problem is that the cost won't hold. It'll eventually flop and it just causes more work than it should, So that's where we're setting it up to be more consistent this way. And you got to give it some time and stuff like that. But this is the best way to do it in terms of not, beating up your audience overlap and, really spiking your costs from spending way more than you should.
Okay.
And essentially the math that is being performed here. If we go to this one real quick so we can get this visual in here. Hopefully it'll show you the chart. Oh, it doesn't show you. But essentially what I did was I did the math that essentially creates these types of charts just on to be more accurate. So that way we could see where that there's going to be a certain point where your costs always go up no matter what you spend. There's no benefit after a certain point. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
So we're
Great.
positioning at the best point and spend that we can on these audiences. Now, your retargeting, for example, is where we're going to rein in as many purchases as we can and just have a heyday at raising frequencies, because you're going to have so many different ads. It's okay, because if one dies, great, we have 8 more locked and loaded. And you already have all those winners. And I assume that now that these are set up right, that your other retargeting might already have it set up that way. But let's double check it just to be sure. Okay, so I would add in your best performing ads here.
All of them?
Yeah.
Okay. In each one of them?
Yes. All like 8 or however many it is. If it's more than 8, don't do that. That starts to get a little too high. But like 8 is, I believe you told me you had 8, so something like that. Or if it's 6, it's 6. Your best ones.
Okay, so do I add them right now?
Yeah, but first I want to check this audience real quick just to see how it's set up.
Okay.
Okay. This one's at a 3 mile. Any reason it's not a 4?
Because I did it before I moved to 4, because we expanded our radius.
Okay.
But
what's this one? The exact same thing?
Yes, it's the exact same thing, but as you can see, it has 4. But if we can go to 4, it's okay. It's good. But I don't know if it's going to restart the learning, right?
Yeah.
So what do we do? Do we work on over this retargeting, or do we launch
It's going to
new
reset
ones?
the learning no matter what, because you're going to be adding ads in here.
Okay.
So since these audiences are the same,
should we have only one ad set?
yes. Yep. Yeah, and you have a pretty big overlap. So let's cut one, add all the ads in, and better yet, let's not do that. Let's duplicate one and then cut both and add in all the ads and change it to 7-day. Click.
Okay.
And keep it at 4 mile. And then we got to make sure that those publish before that, before you deactivate the others. So that way you don't completely turn it off.
Okay. So do I do it now?
Yes. Duplicate the 4 mile one.
I don't know which one was the 4 mile one.
Yeah, well, you can change it in the audience.
Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's right. What do I name it? Retargeting 4 mile?
Yes.
4 miles? Like that?
Yes.
Okay. And what budget?
What are you spending in the other two?
It's around, this one is 120 and the other retargeting is 100, but I would like to spend thousands if I can. I don't
know. What was your frequencies on this? Not very high, I don't think. Let's see. 2.7, yeah, that's nothing. Your costs go down the higher your frequencies go. See this? 1.3869, 1.7148, 2.725. So here's what we're going to do. Let's just look at last month real quick. Even higher frequencies, lower cost. Same thing held true. The lowest frequency, highest cost. So we're going to scale your spin significantly.
Right. That's what I like. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, we're going to scale it up. So let's triple it. So I would say combine that. So I mean, anywhere you could. Let's not do 600 yet. Let's go. If you're at 120 plus 100, you're at 2.2. So that would.
So how much do I go?
For frequencies and all that involved, I think you're safe to be at anything below 600. So, I mean, you could do 450 to start and then move it from there up to 6, depending on how it's going.
And do you think that that'll be my cap?
No, there's no cap here. We could go up to 1,000. I'm saying 600 right now because it's uncharted territory for you and spend on a single audience for that one in retargeting. So let's see.
So
what's going to be? Yeah, I want to see this custom audience again. So video views engaged with. Okay, you got all the stuff that's needed. What about purchases in here?
Yeah, we can retarget anything you think is the best.
Yeah, because if it's a rebuy, let's get them in there.
Okay. So purchases.
How many people would have purchased in the last 180 days, you think?
But remember that purchases here are actually fund leads. That's the way I set up the funnel. Like if we get purchases, they are actual phone leads, like people who leave their phone numbers and our sales reps call them. They're not actually people that bought.
Is there anything that you have from people who bought?
Yeah, I have a database.
Okay. After our call, I'd recommend uploading that
emails
into a retargeting audience.
Okay.
And retarget all purchases.
Okay. In one campaign or the same campaign?
New campaign, new audience, same campaign.
Okay.
New audience, same retargeting campaign.
So that would be like my hot retargeting.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Perfect.
And you would include purchases, phone leads plus the purchases. The actual data file. We won't do none here, but other than change this to 4 mile. And also change it to 7-day. And then whenever you get that data file, you'll make that audience.
Okay.
With the purchases, which are your phone leads, 180-day, plus all your actual purchases from the real data file.
Okay.
So go ahead and select 7-day click if you can.
Okay. Seven-day click and 4 here, right? It's low. So my hot retargeting will be actual purchases, like real ones, and what else? Fund leads? Hello?
Yes, it will be. It will be phone leads and purchases, actual purchases. That'll be your hot retargeting.
And fund leads, what range of time?
180-day.
Okay.
All right, now you're going to add in all of your 8 best ads here.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me pull the IDs. Hold on. Okay. So any of these ones are good. So I choose 8. This one. Do I change this one? Hello?
Sorry, I was on mute. I was trying to talk, but you choose all of the best ones.
Okay. Do I publish it?
No, you can just keep duplicating and adding in the post IDs. So that way it's easier to do it that way.
So this is one, right? Then
Yep, that's one.
do I duplicate this 8 times?
Yes, duplicate that 8 times.
Let me see. 6, 7 times, right? Okay. Oof.
Is the user base a subscription?
What was that?
Are the customers a subscription model? How does it work?
Yes, they pay monthly or 2 months or 3 months, up to 4 months.
Got it.
And yes, and then they pay again if they need.
Okay.
Okay, so now this one, right? Mhm. Okay. And then this one.
At a certain point, you will have reached every single person with the same ads and the same messaging.
And how
And
do I cycle ads or?
the next best way to expand and get the best results is to start doing offers, not like discounts and stuff, but like special offers on like maybe holidays, specific times of the month, like specials, limited time deals, stuff like that, just to boost the amount of people who come back again and to capture individuals that wouldn't have joined otherwise. Implementing referral programs and stuff like that, where you essentially like be able to expand the number of individuals coming onto the service and staying on the service.
Perfect.
Because at a certain point, like the same message, same ads, and same approach, it will go up in cost. And it could have already happened potentially, right? Like you might already have done this. But just looking at your data and piecing everything together, this should help drop cost, right? But if you're at a 1.4, your frequencies could certainly be higher and you could be generating a lot more results. And that's what we're going to do here.
Okay.
But the next phase that is on the horizon for you is looking at opportunities to have recurring deals that come up at specific holidays and stuff like that to get a lot of people to sign up one time that wouldn't have, and then people to come back if they hadn't have, and to get people to stay on the plan that they already enjoy.
And when I reach that point, I will notice quickly with the cost per result, right?
Yeah, if like right away after like, let's say 7 days of this, if your costs are not staying under 30, because we took your best ads, we're taking your best ads, we're implementing your best audiences, we structured it in the best way. If it doesn't stay under 30 after 7 days, and your frequencies are above 2x, which they need to be because otherwise your cost per purchase won't actually be under 30 is what we know. So as long as your frequency is above 2 and your cost per result is also showing that it's above 30, well, then that's a problem. And it means that you're maxing out on your opportunities to stay under 30.
Okay.
And if that is true, then you have to look at pivoting strategies rather than optimizing what has already worked for you. Even though it's been like the bread and butter of what's generated all the results in sales, there comes a time where you have maxed out a specific message and you can run it later on or have these evergreen. They can always be on at lower spend levels because they do still work, but you're going to have the new ideas of new strategies that are monthly, that are new, exciting, that bring people back, keep people in, and have people referring, spreading it. So you just dominate your area.
Okay, great. And at that point, we'd all cycle the ads in another.
Yeah, totally new ads, totally new approach, maybe showing food, maybe, totally something different. Because right now, your ad account is so, at this point with us doing this, it's so finely tuned and specific because like every ad follows the same format. Every ad is a video. Every ad says the exact same headline, and from the looks of it, same copy in most cases. And they all have similar social proof and they all direct to a similar place.
Okay.
So eventually you're going to hit a plateau, and you might have already, but we're going to find out after these 7 days. If so, if your frequency is 2+ and your costs are $30 up, then we know you've plateaued on your opportunities to stay under 30.
Okay.
So that means we just got to start introducing opportunities where it's like, hey, here's this thing, this offer or this specific promotion or this, maybe it's not even a discount. Maybe it's just like buy one and we're going to donate X, where it's like you're adding in a cause, something that's going to get more people to come in, which will get your cost low again because it's new, it's exciting, it's fresh. It seems, totally different.
Perfect. Different type of videos and all of that.
Yeah. New strategies, new ways of bringing people in, keeping them in.
Perfect. Okay. So I did change the 8 of them. What else do I publish? Do I review up and publish or? Hello?
Yes. Microphone cut out, so we had to swap. Sorry about that. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So you have the 8 here. They're all finished?
Yes.
Awesome. So now you just publish it.
Review and publish.
Now, if you want to write this down, if your
Okay.
frequency's 2x plus, if his frequency score is above a 2,
Okay. Let me frequency if frequency is above 2.
yes, and cost per purchase is above 30, we need to pivot and introduce new strategies to lower cost.
Wait, to pivot? What was it? Pivot? Pivot? What does that mean?
It means like turn, like we're essentially taking a different direction. Introduce, yeah, that works.
Okay.
Introduce new strategies. Yep. There you go.
Okay.
Ideas, you could have a list of ideas. It could be offers. It could be one-time promotions. It could be referrals. It could be holiday-related campaigns, like holiday promotions. It could be a social cause where it's like every meal you buy, we're going to donate to a health worker, somebody that works in a health field, COVID appeal, stuff like that.
Okay.
Another one would be if they stay on the plan, if they like renew their plan, they get special offers. So like ways to keep them on is like, okay, if you've been on our plan for more than, it's essentially loyalty programs is what it would be a loyalty program. And the next thing would be, well, actually that covers all of those things specifically. Yeah. Anything else outside of that, I mean, we could come up with it then, but these are the main ones you could go down,
Okay.
etc. Yep. So you would start with that, and being able to, those will help get people who've never done it and would have never done it if even with your current ads. So that's a new approach to bring new people in, and it's also an approach to keep people in, and it's an approach to get people to spread the word about this, which essentially forces you to just dominate in the area. Like you'll just become the one.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
And if you don't have a brand, that's another thing. That'll bring all this. It'll tie it all up and essentially prevent anybody else from coming in and scooping up, your audience.
Great. Okay, so these are in review. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is inside this one, right?
Yes.
Okay, and should I turn these ones off? Or not yet?
Once this one's approved, then you're going to turn those off.
Okay. Budget, it says 450, right? And when can I scale this and how?
You can scale that if your costs are under 30.
Every day, like a little bit, or how do I scale it?
So I would scale it as long as, so if you increase it by 100, wait for a few days to see what your frequencies go up to before you do it again.
Okay.
So for instance, you need to see, I don't know what point that your frequency is too high. I guess we could take a look on that side just to confirm, because then we can essentially know what's the furthest you could scale as well without it breaking. So we know that you could certainly get above 450. That's not going to be an issue. Oh, here we go. Frequency 7.92. I see it. That's overall. So that's with mass overlap.
Yes, I had a ton of overlap.
So this is a good indicator. Whenever it's 7.9 and 555, it doesn't work that way because the overlap is the issue here. On an independent audience is what we're looking for. And it doesn't look like you're getting above a 2 on an independent audience yet. for that month at least.
Mm-hmm. So we can't know just yet how much I will able to spend, right?
Right. Yeah, we won't know until you start spending more and we watch the frequencies climb. If your frequencies are going up and your costs are going down, then that just tells you to keep on pushing it.
Okay.
Like keep raising the spend for sure.
What percentage? Like 20% every time, or?
Here we go, 7.55. So that's too high. So you can't go this high. So that is definitely too high in this case. And that is 3.96. Is that audience size big? Is that a 700,000
Yeah,
audience
that's
size?
700,000. Yes.
Okay, then your sweet spot's actually 3.25 and below.
2.5.
No, under 3.25 for a cold audience, under 3.25 for a cold. For warm audience, it's going to be under 4 right now because you actually hit it 33 right here with a 3.08. But that's with one ad. So with more ads, you should be fine.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So what percentage do I increase? Like 20%, 50%, 30%?
20%.
Per day. At what time?
Not per day. Watch it every single time you go up by 20%. Give it at least 7 days to see what your results are doing.
Okay. So, and in the cold traffic, what do we do? I don't scale it, right?
In the cold traffic?
Yes.
No, you're leaving it. The max you can scale is by only on 2 audiences, which you can get up to 200 on the one that's at 140.
Okay. So the max of the fund leads are going to come from the retargeting.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So right now I'm able to spend 450 plus maybe like 1,000 Bolivian dollars.
You are able to spend. It might be that close, but I think it's more like 750 Bolivian.
Okay, so there's no way to scale it right now.
Not with this structure.
Okay.
Then the only way you're going to get higher than that is being able to have a promotional deal going. Then you're just going to be able to spend as much as you could spend 1,000 a day for 3 days in a row for that deal, and then you launch the next one where it's like referrals, and you can run that one as high as you want for that, and that'll get your spend going super high because the returns on that will be substantially greater.
Okay, perfect. And how do I test new ads?
In their own if you're gonna do new ads, I'd make sure it's a strategy driven, not just same copy. It needs to be like the new offer or new referral system, however that you want to release it. And if you do that, then just launch it in their own campaign.
Okay. And what audiences do I target?
For any offers, deals, or anything like that, you're just going to go after the retargeting.
Okay.
You'll start with the retargeting.
Okay. Perfect. And when they are proven, I go to cold.
Yes, to see if they work first for first-time customers, cold people. Like I would do like a first time offer, then you could have that one in cold. And then if you have like a referral system, you would put that in your retargeting.
Okay, perfect. What else? This new targeted is like uploading, or what does that mean?
Yes, it looks like we just need a refresh maybe. Yeah, new targeted campaign. I believe it's publishing or however long it's going to take. Yeah, it's let's just refresh it here. Also, just to confirm, did that payment go through on the other for the second part?
Let me check.
Okay.
1 second. ¿Entró Amores a Plaza? 3,500 pesos. Hasta que le digo. ¿Y aquí cuánto tiempo deposita? Hasta que le digo. ¿Ah? Sí, porque que no me conoce. It'll be in a little bit. The guy is going to the bank right now. Hold on, please.
Okay.
So, what else do you think I should do? Should I turn this off, CBOs?
As soon as the other ones are active and running.
This new one, right?
Yeah, but if you're at 1,500 on those other ones here, 1,500, you're going to be getting a lot less leads because you're going to be spending way less.
Yes.
But also your costs are going to be much better. So
I will be getting the same amount of leads, spending less.
Yeah, potentially. So yeah, certainly. If the lead cost is low enough, 100%. To ensure that the retargeting audiences are filling up enough. Oh, you have 180 days. So actually you'll be fine. Yeah, so 5.44 is too high.
Yes.
Let's inspect this just real quick. We can look at the frequency on this thing. You don't have any auction overlap anymore. That's good. Here's our frequency. So nothing is actually changing here. So your cost even up to there was nothing correlated with that frequency in purchases for this. You see what's happening here? Even as your frequency increases, it's doing nothing to your cost. And that is an ad issue. It just means that people just aren't acting on this ad as a higher frequency goes up.
Is ad fatigue?
Yeah, they're just stalled out. I mean, the ad just not, it's definitely fatigued. And then for your retargeting, the solution is having a lot of those other ads in that retargeting because they're not going to get fatigued as much because you're going to have a lot more people, a lot more ads going. What is the benefit?
Okay.
So your frequency on this retargeting, yeah, it's not playing any effect on your, I mean, slightly actually. I can see the trend line here going up with your cost per purchase. But here's what it looks like is you have one ad. So that's the thing. That's what's forcing the correlation where the ads get fatigued automatically just from overshowing. But when we look at yeah, so your costs do decrease in this case when that frequency is going up, but with a lot more ads in there, you'll be better off because now those will just be cycling in between. And so as frequency goes up, they're actually always seeing different creatives, which is good.
Okay, and it's learning, so should we turn those off? I don't know though if the 8 ads are running. Yeah, pretty much only.
Yeah. So once that first, yeah, so as soon as you see that happen, that final one gets approved, then you can go ahead and deactivate those others.
Okay. And the call traffic, I think we have it off, right? Where is it? This one? Should I turn this on or tomorrow?
Yes. Oh yeah, turn it on. Yeah, definitely turn it on. And then once that one's live and running, you can turn off those others.
Yes, they are running. Let's see. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
So we have 2 ads per ad set, right? The same ones in each one?
Yes.
And should I leave it like there or like that? Or when can I change this? Or how do I manage that?
Frequency above 2 and cost per result above 30. That's just going to be our indicator for pivoting strategy. New ads. And introducing new ads.
How do I cycle it? Right here in the same.
Yeah, it can be done in the same one in this case because they're not going to be performing under 30. So there's no worry about interrupting anything because it's not even under your goal.
Okay. So let me check. Okay. So once this is above 2 in the frequency and cost per purchase above 30, I just go here and launch 2 new ones, right?
Yep.
And when they are running, I turn these ones off.
Yes. If it's going to be a promotion or anything like that, start it out in the retargeting first.
Okay. And to start it in the retargeting, and can I run like here identical ads as the retargeting or no?
You can, but I would stick with those 2 because those are the 2 that we saw had the consistent cost.
Yes,
all those other ones we didn't.
I mean when they are maxed out.
Oh, when they're working.
Yes, can I cycle new ads?
Yes,
here,
definitely.
That are running in the retargeting.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, perfect. So right now they are learning all of them. So should I turn this one off, CBO and.
Yep. Once they start spending, you're good to turn them off.
Okay. Once they start spending, not now.
If you do it now, you can. It's just that there's going to be a period where like you'll probably have maybe an hour before you start seeing it scale up and spend.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're fine with that, then yeah, you're good to turn them off.
Okay. I think we turn it off.
Awesome. All right.